A new all-in-one entertainment and hospitality mobile app was launched in Johannesburg this week. The app is called Mogli.Mobi and allows people to buy event tickets, book restaurant tables and pay for everything they consume. For more on this, we're joined from our Cape Town studio by one of the developers, Mogli.Mobi. Mogli, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us this afternoon. First, tell us about this app.
Thank you very much for having me. I think you've summarized it quite nicely, but ultimately what it is, it's a mobile wallet solution which works to integrate a number of features, including mobile ticketing, cashless point-of-sale systems, loyalty and rewards programs, as well as promotions and couponing. And it's focused on the entertainment industry, as well as restaurants, clubs and bars around the country.
So, practically speaking, I know I can buy a ticket, I can book a table. What else can I do with this app?
So, using mobile ticketing is nothing new to us, and also, using cashless point-of-sale systems at events is also nothing new. But I think what is very different about the app is that it integrates a lot of these things. So previously, where these services have lived with different developers or different platforms, it's now on one. So I can buy a ticket to an event or a club through the app. I can also purchase my drinks, my food through the same app. I get loyalty and rewards for engaging with the app, which basically means you get cash back for the money that you spend on the app. And taking it further, it also opens up opportunities for people to run promotions. So I can enter competitions by purchasing through the app. And I think the key thing is that it isn't just focused at a B2B level like most other platforms are. This really speaks to businesses who are maybe club or bar owners. It also speaks to enticing and rewarding consumers. But most importantly, it also, for the first time, starts to cater to the brands that are involved within the space, which I think is something which has been missing from the mobile technology industry.
And I see that one of the things that, some of the articles that are out there talk about when it comes to this app is that it changes the game in the scene of events coordination. So how can then the brands that hop onto that space improve their events coordination?
So one of the key things I think we see in the country, as much as the entertainment and the eventing industry is growing, it's still largely reliant on the support of a number of brands that sponsor these events. And I think any promoter will attest to the fact that one of the difficult things that they're finding is really trying to increase the return on investment on these brands that spend quite a lot of money supporting their events. What this app does now is starts to enable brands to actually participate in this industry through engaging with the people that are using the app and really starting to use smart data to make decisions. So what we mean by that is brands can now start to engage with the consumers that are attending the events that they're sponsoring in a much different way, and I think in a much more informed way. Through the way in which we capture the data and utilize the data to help make decisions on how we communicate to the people, so that also we're not spamming people on information that they don't want. Users of the app are genuinely getting things that are relevant to them and are engaging with brands that they actually want to engage with, which I think makes a way more effective way of marketing from a brand's point of view, because you're not just spending money against consumers that either don't want to be communicated to or just aren't your target audience.
And I know that, each and every single article I read about you, they describe you as this brand extraordinaire, this person who's, gone through this branding industry and has done so well for himself, and congratulations on that. But what I want to know is what are some of the challenges that you faced when it comes to setting up such an app? How easy is it? Because I know that a lot of young people out there are dreaming of setting up apps that can actually enhance consumer experience.
There's quite a couple of challenges, and I think, like you've mentioned, is I'm not an app developer. My background is marketing, so where my experience comes from is from communicating and creating marketing plans for brands. But I think where this app has been developed is through a combination of my work experience, my personal hobbies, which include DJing, hosting events, etc. And I think the ideas and the gap I think that I identified in the market was a combination of those. However, I think the challenges then come in, when you start to look at the reality in that this was really a passion project for me. It wasn't something which I was doing full time, so I still have my full-time job. So I guess the challenge is firstly becomes the time to dedicate to such a project, because it ultimately becomes a after hours and a weekend project. The second challenge, I think, becomes the funding, because whilst I had the idea and the concept, it's very difficult to convince people off a PowerPoint presentation what it is that you're trying to do. And I realized quite early on that I would need to actually spend money building a prototype that I could actually take to people and that they could play with it and hold it in their hands, because that impact is way different to showing something on a computer screen. So I had to find the funds to pay for the prototype. And, funding, unfortunately, is not necessarily something which is always easy to come by when you are a first-time developer. So I had to raise funds on my own. I'd been fortunate enough to have invested in some property, which I could then offload and use the profits from that to fund the prototype as well as the app itself.
Well, I'll certainly give that app a try, and I will give you some feedback. Thank you so much for chatting to us. That was Avugile Mabombo from Mogli.Mobi.